The chamber of the Galactic Council was silent for the first time in recorded history. Across the 1,000-tiered arena floated the representatives of over 700 species, their luminous eyes and organic visors trained on the main projection above the council floor. It displayed Earth, blue, scarred, quiet. The cradle of humanity, the species once considered the youngest and most volatile member of the interstellar community, now a ghost of what it had been. No one spoke because there was nothing left to say. Humanity had made its decision. The Council had long believed that the humans' greatest flaw was their emotion. They felt too deeply, reacted too fast, and rarely forgot a slight. To the elder races, humanity was a child, brilliant, inventive, and unbearably reckless. Yet as centuries passed, that same emotion had turned into something else. The humans had learned. They had built empires, colonies, and fleets that reached beyond what any could match. They had fought wars not just for resources, but for the survival of others. And in the end, that was their undoing. It began when the Varn Dominion, a council member, deployed weapons of planetary cleansing on a human colony at Cygnus Reach. The incident, as the Varn called it, was described as a necessary containment of expansion. The council hesitated, unwilling to sanction one of its oldest species. They issued words, not action. They gave apologies, not justice. The humans waited for 10 standard cycles, 10 long years of diplomacy, pleas, and quiet fury. Then, without warning, they withdrew their ambassadors from every council world. Their ships vanished from trade routes. Their colonies went dark to all outside transmissions, and now, as the council watched the broadcast from the Sol system, they realized what withdrawal truly meant. A human fleet, enormous beyond reason, hung in orbit above Earth. Thousands of ships, black as night and silent, their engines glowing faintly with controlled power. The Council had known of human technology, but this was something beyond their recorded understanding. These vessels were not built for defense or war. They looked like entire ecosystems forged from alloy and purpose. In the center of the broadcast stood the human representative, Admiral Kale, tall and calm, dressed in the unadorned gray of his fleet. His face bore no expression, his eyes reflecting the faint shimmer of Earth behind him. His voice, when it spoke, carried across the stars through every open channel. "Members of the Galactic Council," he began, "for 300 years humanity stood beside you. We fought your wars, rebuilt your worlds, cured your plagues, and defended your peace. In return, you watched as one of your own burned our people alive. You called it unfortunate, you called it regrettable, but you did nothing." Silence filled the chamber, broken only by the soft pulse of translation nodes. Kyle continued, his tone unwavering. "We once believed in unity. We believed the Council represented justice. We were wrong. Humanity does not belong among those who turn away from what is right. So we will leave. We will take our colonies, our ships, and our people beyond your borders. We will no longer trade, fight, or interfere. The galaxy that remains will be yours. Do with it what you will." 1,000 voices erupted at once. The great hall filled with panic, anger, and disbelief. The elder races shouted that humanity could not simply abandon the compact that bound the galaxy together. Others begged for reconsideration. Kale waited until the noise died, then spoke one final time. "We will not return. The gates will close in 1 hour. After that, no one will find us. This is our farewell." And the transmission ended. The Council was thrown into chaos. The galactic economy, built around human engines and logistics, would crumble. The defense grid that spanned the Orion and Sagittarius arms relied on human fleets. Even the terraforming cores on dozens of frontier worlds were maintained by human engineers. Without them, the delicate balance of civilization would falter within decades. Some council members called for pursuit, others for surrender, but none could agree on what to do. They watched the final minutes of the feed, hoping for a sign that humanity would change its mind. Instead, they saw the impossible. Above Earth, vast rings began to shimmer into being, structures kilometers thick encircling the planet like crowns of light. They were neither orbital stations nor weapons. They were gates, fold space drives of planetary scale. Energy surged through them, forming ripples that bent the fabric of reality itself. The sensors of 1,000 observatories went dark as their instruments failed to comprehend the readings. Then, without warning, the stars around Earth flickered. The planet, its moon, and the fleet surrounding it blurred, folded, and vanished. Where once there had been humanity, there was now empty space. The Council's central archive recorded the event as the Great Departure. No trace of human presence remained within known space. Even the beacons on the outer colonies went silent. It was as if the species had been erased by its own design. In the following months, chaos spread. Trade collapsed. Border skirmishes reignited. The loss of human mediation led to war between old rivals. The Council attempted to maintain order, but their fleets were understaffed and their technology inadequate without human guidance. The few synthetic caretakers left behind, machines once programmed by human hands, ceased communication and powered down, as if honoring the same vow of departure. Yet the absence of humanity was more than material. It was cultural, emotional. The humans had carried with them a sense of defiance and hope that no other race could replicate. Their songs had filled the void stations, their art had decorated every council hall. Now only silence remained. Decades passed. Worlds fell. Others adapted. But none reached the heights once shared under human alliance. A century after the departure, a young scholar from the Terran species uncovered a relic in the ruins of an old human embassy. It was a simple metal plate engraved with words in an ancient Terran language. Translation revealed a message: "We leave because we must. You will understand when the stars grow cold. Until then, remember, what we build, we protect. What we protect, we love. What we love, we never abandon." The scholar shared it with the Council, but its meaning only deepened their sorrow. 2 centuries later, an explorer fleet from the edge of the galactic rim detected an anomaly, a faint signal pulsing from a region thought unreachable, beyond the mapped universe. It was rhythmic, patterned, deliberate. The frequency matched ancient Terran transmission codes, long obsolete. The Council gathered once more, older, weaker, desperate for meaning. They amplified the signal. What came through was faint, almost drowned in cosmic noise, but clear enough to be understood. It was a voice, calm, familiar, human. To those who remain, it said, we watch from the dark, between galaxies. We see your wars, your pain, your silence. We told you once that justice matters. You did not listen. We learned, as you must now learn, that peace cannot be given. It must be earned. When you are ready, find the light we left behind. The signal ended there. No coordinates, no follow-up. Only an echo fading into infinity. For another millennium, no sign of humanity appeared. The Council's numbers dwindled, and new species rose from forgotten corners of the stars. They spoke of humanity as myth, a ghost race that had once held the galaxy together. The humans became legend, builders of stars, guardians of lost knowledge, wanderers of endless night. And then, on the eve of the Council's dissolution, a strange event occurred. Every remaining stargate across known space activated at once. Unmanned, uncontrolled, glowing with an energy unseen since the old days. Through each gate came a pulse of light, spreading through systems, reviving dormant worlds, reactivating broken machines. Terraformers reignited, oceans returned to dead planets, and forgotten colonies stirred with new life. No ships emerged. No words were spoken. Only the quiet renewal of the galaxy itself. The oldest surviving counselor, frail and near the end of her life, watched from her observatory as the light reached her world. She turned to her aides and whispered, "They kept their promise." The aides did not understand. They had never known humanity. To them, the idea of such a race was a tale for the old and nostalgic. But the counselor remembered the wars, the compassion, the fury, and the brilliance. As the light spread across the stars, she realized what humanity had done. They had not left in hatred. They had left to grow, to learn, to become something greater. And now perhaps they had returned, not to rule, but to heal what was broken. The light from the stargates continued for 7 days. Then, as suddenly as it began, it faded. The revived worlds remained alive and flourishing, but the gates closed again, this time forever. The Council archives would later mark that event as the Second Dawn. No proof was ever found that the humans had returned physically, but the evidence of their hand was undeniable. The power, precision, and mercy were unmistakably human. In time, new civilizations rose upon the restored worlds. They built with reverence for those who came before. They carried forward fragments of human ideals, curiosity, courage, and kindness. And though no one ever saw a human again, every race that gazed at the stars carried the unspoken truth that somewhere, beyond the edge of the known, humanity still watched, and they waited, patient and silent, for the day the galaxy was ready to begin again. For in the end, it had never been revenge that drove them. It had been disappointment. And from that disappointment, they forged something timeless, something the